Hi, this is Relate to Shan, and this channel is about how to build relationships for better connections with others and ourselves. And this video is going to be a response video to Vanessa Van Edwards on her video, How to Be More Sociable. And I was inspired to make this video because I actually quite liked her video. One, there's not a lot of videos out there like that focusing on social skills for adults and how to make friends and how to meet people, how to socialize. We're told to do that, and we're assumed to already know how to do this, from our grade school years or when you're children. But the truth is, a lot of adults don't really know how to do this. This is especially true for adults with neuroatypical abilities, especially ADHD and autism. And, well, I thought that I can help bridge that gap a little bit with this channel. So, I hope this video is helpful because I would like to add a few extra nuggets that Vanessa had in her videos, talk about what I agreed with, and probably not take away, but certainly add to or modify for those of us who happen to be neuroatypical with ADHD, autism, or just a little awkward for whatever reason. Acute awkwardness, general awkwardness, just awkward. And of course, in this video, I'll probably be touching on the fact that gender disparities or racial disparities, because I don't know if anyone's noticed, but that also adds to quite a bit of awkwardness. So yeah, I wanted to bring up some caveats that I've learned along the way to help bridge these gaps and lessen the awkwardness that we all can come to just trying to connect with each other. All right. Caveat number one, you win each day when you put yourself out there. This isn't about perfection. This isn't about, making the best first impression every single time. You can't do that anyway. No one can. So there's no need to put pressure on yourself to be perfect 100% of the time. Matter of fact, most people will appreciate it if you're not perfect 100% of the time. It shows your humanity. It shows that you are learning to be yourself, that you make mistakes just like everybody else. So yeah, this isn't about perfection. And also something to keep in mind, and this is especially true for those who have a hard time dealing with rejection of any kind. You are not for everyone, and everyone is not for you. Easier said than processed, but it's true. You're not for everyone, and everyone is not for you. That is still a win. If you come across people who does not consider you as part of their people, or you just don't consider them part of your people, that is still a win. For all intents and purposes, that is still a win. If your goal is to be sociable and to make friends or to make connections, that's still a win when you find people who you don't make connections with. You know why? Because that is more information, that is more data that you can use that'll only get you closer to the people who is your tribe, who are your people. So that's still a win. That's not, and if you frame it that way, that rejection won't be as big of a blow, as big of a hit. Caveat number two. So Vanessa, she talks about SMART goals, being specific with the goals of making friends. For example, how many friends do you want? What's the time frame of making your friends? What kind of friends are you looking for? What type of friends are you looking for? that's all right. I will say that the why is the most important part of the SMART goals. You have to know why you're making friends. Now, if it helps, you can certainly start with all of the other questions: who, what, when, where, how, and start with those questions to help you figure out the why. But if you just know the why, like, I want to make friends because, and the because is the reason why, I just want to make friends because I moved into a new town, or I want to make new friends because I uh, I just started a business and I need connections. I need networking connections, or I need investors, or I need to find clients who I can serve and be of and give my products to, or give my services to people who would actually be of benefit. Whatever that is. And then once you have the why, you get specific. What does your friends look like? The connections look like? That's when you start getting specific. And you'll be able to answer the who, what, when, where, and how in the why. So the why explains everything. I will also say that the why will be some sort of principle, or be connected to some sort of principle or some sort of value you have. That's a little complicated. I certainly want to make another video about that. So if you're interested in knowing what I mean by principle versus value, I'll be more than happy to make a video on that in the future. But for now, I'll leave it with the why you want to make friends. It's the most important part of this here process. All right, caveat number 3. This is probably the most obvious caveat, and yet is the one that we all have to learn, especially as introverts. You have to be more outgoing. Yeah, I know. And and not only do you have to be outgoing, you have to be outgoing consistently. Yeah, I know. People aren't going to remember you if you just show up once every blue gray moon, unless you have an amazing personality and you completely stand out from the crowd, which I'm going to get to in a minute. However, I will say this. It's actually going to be a lot easier in the long run, making friends, making connections, and finding your people and finding your tribe when, and this is very important, when you show up. So you must show up. How can you do this? How can you show up consistently, even though you're scared to death, even though you're scared of making mistakes, even though I told you not every day is going to be a winner, but still you want every day to be a winner. I get it. How can you still show up? Go to places, go to events that are of interest to you. Totally agree with Vanessa on this one, right? You have to go to places where it is a place you would go to even if nobody showed up. And this is COVID times, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that a good number of y'all might not be super happy meeting with people in person for multiple reasons, right? Medical reasons, personal reasons, professional reasons, what have you. So online meetups might be your best bet. Or maybe meeting with people who are trusted, who have been vaccinated, or who have gone through certain protocols that make you feel safe. And you have to feel safe. But here's a specific plan or idea that I have for you. Go to events.com. Seriously, go to events.com. It's crazy. Every meetup that I found that I was interested in, that I found through, other groups that I'm in, or through Google or whatever, they sell their tickets or promote on events.com. So I could have just gone there, and I could have found more stuff to do in my own city, in my own neighborhood. It's crazy easy. So just check out events.com. If you live in a smaller town, no, you might not have as many things to do. However, from what I hear, the grapevine will tell you where to go. So that's pretty cool. Also, if you don't have any other ideas of what to do, you can go to and join a sports team, some sort of athletic team. And this is great because it gets you out of your head. A lot of the awkwardness comes from thinking too much, analysis paralysis. Being active for most of us, that just nips that in the bud. So definitely consider joining some sort of sport that you like. And yeah, I'm definitely including video games or RPG games, or something that doesn't seem strenuous on the body, but it actually is, like golf. Caveat number 4, keep it positive. You don't want to be known as the Debbie Downer. You don't want to be known as the person that's like, oh my God. And like every time you come into the room, everyone knows you got something negative to say. Oh my God. Like, I had such a hard day, or oh my God, traffic was terrible, or OMG, like, it's so rough for me. Oh, woe is me. Like, and we all have those days. It's not like, no one can connect with you if you're that kind of person. I'm just saying, I'm with Vanessa on this. You don't want to be known as a person who's constantly negative. Because if something really does happen, if something traumatic really does happen, it's like the boy who cried wolf. It loses its edge after a while. And plus, you're there to make friends. Misery loves company, but if nobody else is miserable, they're not going to try to be your company. You get what I'm saying? So, okay, so caveat number 5, find commonalities, find things that you have in common with the people that you want to be friends with. Going back to caveat number 2, you need to know your why. That'll let you know what types of friends you are, because the types of friends you want, because the type of friends you want are probably the types of friends that you have something in common with. It's really hard and really taxing on the brain to try to be friends with people who you have no connections with. Because at some point, somebody has to pretend to be something that they're not. And it's just not worth it. So, yeah. Commonalities, win-win. So caveat number 6. So this is probably the part where me and Vanessa were end up disagreeing on this one. You might have to chill with the vulnerability a bit, especially if you're particularly awkward, or if you have atypical neural abilities. The vulnerability piece that Vanessa brings up, and it may not be your friend at first. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm pro Brene Brown, go girl. You don't want to start off with that, because, and the reason why, especially if you have ADHD and autism, or if you're just really a nervous netty, and you just start chit-chatting, you finally get to the point where you start chatting it up, what do you usually talk about? You talk about yourself. That's like the easiest thing you do. Talk about yourself. So giving the tidbit of, starting off with vulnerability, Vanessa is just saying, don't run at the mouth, just give a quick little vulnerability saying, hey, I'm scared, you might be scared too, or I'm scared, but I'm glad you're here because you're assuaging my fear or whatever. And it's just like a quick little thing. For neuroatypical populations, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying, why start it? You know what I mean? Instead, what I would do, my suggestion, since, when you finally get to the point where you start chatting it up, when you finally make it to that point, what I would suggest, instead, talking about yourself or your fear or your vulnerability or what have you, I would suggest using that power, that creative idea machine you have up here, and make it about the other person. Think about, okay, I want to find out as much as I can about this person, and I want to do so with the goal of giving them something. What can I find out about this person, and what can I offer them of value? And you got all these ideas. Like, if you're neuroatypical, you are an idea machine. You see things differently. It's already a given. All right? So what can you see differently that you can offer the person? That might be of help, that might be of service. And it's a caveat that Vanessa, I've seen her talk about in another video, not in the one that I'm responding to right now, of just coming, going to these networks, going to meet people as a means of, as a giver rather than a taker. It really takes the pressure off you and makes it into a game rather than like a high stake. It's just a simple, hey, I'm going to meet people. If I could find, a few people, 2, 3 people who, they're doing something and I can be of service to them, short of just buying their product or buying their service and losing money. Like, no. What idea or connection or just something, something that is energy based or informationally based or business based that will give them value beyond just direct monetary gain. The next caveat number 8, don't flake, don't be late. This is what Vanessa says, and I do agree. I also know it's incredibly hard. If you have ADHD, that's a tall order. That's a tall order. If you have ADHD, or if you have like severe social anxiety or generalized anxiety, that's a tall order. Like, I agree, but that's a tall order. So, and the reason why is because of fear. If it's just like anxiety, fear plays a part in it, and you overthink things, analysis paralysis, and you're trying to, and all this time that you could have used to get yourself ready and get yourself out the door, you're using it to try to pump yourself up and try not to freak out. For ADHDers, on the other hand, and those with autism, it depends. Like, I don't think autism is directly linked to lateness or losing track of time, but it's definitely true for ADHD. ADHD, you lose track of time. Time is relative, right? Yeah, you're not trying to be a jerk. It's just, it happens. So I'm still learning how to fix this, because there are even people who don't have any of these symptoms of ADHD or autism, or just being a nervous netty, but still end up being late. So I don't know what their excuse is, but there we are. So what's the solution? I don't know. The solution is alarms, as if it's that easy. But also I put the clock 15 minutes faster, right? Make sure the clock, all your clocks are 15 minutes faster. Put clocks everywhere. Put clocks in your house. Put clocks on your phone. Get a watch. Seriously, get a watch. Right? That, and make sure everything beeps at you. When things beep at you, make sure it's beeping at you from the other room that you're not likely to be in, right? Especially if you're waking up in the morning. But if you're waking up in the morning and you live in an apartment by yourself, or the people you live with don't really care, have the alarm set on the other side. Another option is, and this will actually be a better option, if you could find people to hold you accountable with the time, to remind you with the time, with loving kindness and not being super duper judgy, that'd be even better. That'd be better. With loving kindness, they just let you know, hey, you only have 5 minutes. Hey, 10 minutes here. Hey, we got to go in 2 minutes. Get everything you need. Let's go. Having a partner like that will really help you out, especially if, one of you is willing to drive. So if that partner is willing to drive, hellos, while you get, your makeup together and do the last minute touches in the car, that's super helpful. Having a partner, super helpful. I think everyone could use a partner. So definitely have a partner. If you like this video, please subscribe, because I do plan on making more videos. Please subscribe. Please check out my blog. It is www.relatetoshan.com. I will be posting my writings there on this very subject, which is relationships with others and with yourself, focusing on mental health and mental wellness. Also, don't forget to like and share. If you found this to be valuable to you, someone else will probably also find this valuable. And yeah, when I have a new video, I will put this somewhere, like some sort of card, or maybe put a link to a new video on this channel. I'm learning. This is obviously my first video, so I'm very excited about it. So let me know what you want to see next. And yeah, peace.